Move ahead with the program. And I would like to request the Honorable Minister, Mr. Deepak Bora, to kindly chair this session. With your kind permission, Mr. Chairperson, I would like to call upon the Secretary of Ministry of Forest and Soil Conservation, Mr. Yuvraj Bhushal, to kindly give his welcome remarks.
It is my great pleasure and privilege to be amongst you in this inaugural session of the Kathmandu Global Tiger Workshop 2009. Nepal feels highly honored hosting this workshop. We all know that the climate change and biodiversity depletion has become a serious challenge and a great threat to human life in this earth. Because of global warming, the Himalayas are melting, our natural heritages are endangered, leading to severe imbalance in the ecosystem, eventually making the human life more vulnerable. Accelerated population growth and our ever-rising developmental needs have undermined our continual efforts to nature conservation. In spite of our incessant endeavors to this end, it is still very tough to maintain balance between conservation and development. At the turn of last century, about 100,000 wild tigers were estimated inhabiting in Asia and the Russian forest. Now, attributing to poaching, prey and habitat loss, their number is limited to 3,500 only. From the vast floodplains, grasslands and dense forested areas, the tigers are now pushed into smaller and smaller enclaves and are restricted in few isolated so-called protected areas. We have been assembled here to save the tigers that are on the verge of extinction. Because tigers are a beacon of biodiversity, linking together the forests they inhabit and the natural resources and ecosystem services that their habitats produce for mankind. The loss of tigers and the degradation of their ecosystem would inevitably result in a historic, cultural, spiritual, and environmental catastrophe for the world. It is our common duty to make the tiger live in healthy populations within high conservation value landscapes that are managed sustainably for present and future generations. Distinguished guests, Kathmandu Tiger Workshop has been organized with a view to make the high-level policymakers across of the world more aware of the tigers' likely extinction, immense economic and ecological value of living tigers and their natural habitats, assess and share our cross-country experience in this regard, discuss on the underlying challenges of tiger conservation, and devise strategies to save tiger from extinction, either from poaching or prey and habitat loss. With this 4-day-long workshop, we'll come up with a sensible and more functional scheme for saving tigers, including transboundary cooperation requirements. I hope this event would energize our efforts for developing appropriate measures and their implementation in the ground to save our tigers.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to request our chief guest, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, Mr. Madhav Kumar Nepal, to kindly inaugurate this special occasion by lighting the traditional Nepali light, the panas. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now we have a video address by the President of World Bank, Mr. Robert Zoellick, who unfortunately could not be here in person.
Mr. Prime Minister, honorable ministers from Nepal and Thailand, distinguished guests. I'd like to thank the government of Nepal for hosting this event and for the joint efforts of key parties of the Global Tiger Initiative, including the Save the Tiger Fund, the World Wildlife Fund, and the Global Tiger Forum for helping to organize this important workshop. It's a testament to the power and majesty of the wild tiger that you've been able to bring together this impressive gathering of political leaders, conservationists, scientists, and practitioners to share knowledge and experience towards saving these magnificent animals from extinction. I wish I could be with you. but I share your passion and commitment to this issue, so I wanted to take this opportunity to share a few ideas. As all of us know all too well, we are at the edge of survival for tigers in the world. At the turn of the 20th century, they numbered over 100,000. Today, we have only 3,500 tigers remaining in the wild, some of them in habitats that are not sustainable. We know the main causes of this decline in numbers of wild tigers. First, a loss of habitat through conversion, encroachment, and degradation. In some cases, it's driven by expanding populations and legitimate economic and development needs for infrastructure and resources. And second, the illegal activities of traders and poachers who are currently better organized than we are. At present, the illegal trade in wildlife is estimated at over $10 billion across Asia, second only to weapons and drug smuggling. Neither of these pressures is unique to Asia. Balancing sustainability with development and growth is a challenge in many parts of the world, where environmental concerns need to be integrated into the mainstream of development and operational plans. Poaching is a plague that is also affecting Africa, where there has been a surge in hunting of rhinos, lions, and great apes. Kruger National Park in South Africa, for example, recently lost 56 rhinos, and lion bones from Africa are being traded as tiger bones in Asia. Yet for tigers, our generations are a whisker away from the point of no return. We have to stop this. We must infuse a sense of urgency into tiger conservation. We need to look for serious solutions before time runs out. The Global Tiger Initiative must be an instrument of change. It can serve as a platform of partnership, bringing together global experience, knowledge, technology, and best practices, and connecting all these with local practices across the tiger range countries. In Kathmandu, I hope you will jointly reflect and discuss why our efforts and our resources thus far are not having the impact they need to have on the ground. This is not a time for business as usual. We need a game change. In your deliberations this week, I urge you to explore systems and models of park management that have been working or have worked. I look forward to the emergence of a regional framework or protocol that would ensure effective and well-coordinated action against illegal traders. It's also critical that your efforts and conclusions are widely communicated to stakeholders, constituents, and the public at large. We need a well-honed, smart communication strategy that is sharp-edged and globally persuasive. I'm pleased that there's an interest in this event from local journalists and broadcasters, as well as the National Geographic. The World Bank Group fully supports these efforts to share knowledge and build a community of practice to help save wild tigers from extinction. And I give you my personal assurance that the World Bank is committed to devoting our global presence and convening power to this endeavor. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, quote, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." It's an important message for all of us to remember as we go forward, that conservation of wild tigers is not only a question of preserving habitats and biodiversity, at the same time as bringing economic benefits to communities. It's also about preserving the national heritage of a country and its people. So I look forward to working for practical and sustainable action that can make an enormous difference. Thank you for your commitment to this issue, and thank you for your partnership.
Thank you, Mr. Zelik. We all share your thoughts. So next, I would like to request Ms. Susan Golma, Country Director for World Bank Nepal, to say a few words on this occasion.
On behalf of the World Bank, the Global Tiger Initiative, and our partners, I'd like to welcome the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Madhav Kumar Nepal, the honorable ministers who are here, the secretaries, the delegates that I understand are here from 13 countries, but that there are actually 20 countries represented, excellencies, distinguished guests, and friends. After hearing from the President of the World Bank in his video message, I think you can tell his personal interest and sincere commitment from the very top of my organization to bringing about, as he says, a game-changing shift to strengthening policies that will protect tigers in the tiger range countries. Policies that will be in favor of biodiversity, ecosystems, and community sustainability.